In the business world, not every company conducts formal obedience tests, but many do implicitly assess how employees respond to authority in their everyday management practices. Obedience tests are not just about executing tasks, they touch on deeper ethical and logical questions. So how does this idea of obedience show up in corporate culture? First, let's look at high-pressure situations that require quick decisions. When a project is urgent, companies may expect employees to complete tasks within a short time frame, sometimes even implying unconditional obedience to their directives. This kind of scenario isn't just about getting things done, it's also about observing how employees respond to authority. For many companies, this becomes a measure of loyalty and alignment with the team. But if this isn't balanced carefully, it can cause employees to lose their own sense of judgment. Another subtle form of obedience testing happens with sudden reassignments or task adjustments. Companies may temporarily reassign employees to unfamiliar roles or ask them to support new projects to see if they'll comply willingly. These shifts assess adaptability and willingness to follow orders. If employees are compliant, they're often viewed as loyal to the team. But at the same time, they may feel they're giving up personal choice and self-expression. There's also implicit obedience within performance targets. Sometimes, companies set goals with implied expectations, like subtly suggesting flexibility with data or asking employees to use specific strategies in client communication. These are not direct commands, but they can affect evaluations, acting as hidden tests of obedience. Employees may find themselves balancing between following these hints and staying true to their ethical standards. In companies that emphasize teamwork culture, obedience often appears in the form of supporting group or management decisions without question. Here, obedience is less about a single directive and more about a cultural attitude. Are you willing to set aside personal opinions and fully support team or management decisions? Employees in these environments are often expected to prioritize collective goals over their individual judgment, fostering a high degree of team alignment. Obedience is also tested in how companies handle internal conflicts. When departments clash or employees face difficult directives, companies observe if individuals will side with management or carry out instructions unconditionally. This creates a dilemma for employees. Should they stay true to personal ethics, or should they submit to authority? So why do some companies place such a high value on obedience? Typically, traditional hierarchical organizations emphasize loyalty and obedience, viewing them as ways to ensure consistency and efficiency. But this intense focus on obedience can stifle creativity and critical thinking, especially in dynamic markets. In contrast, more open, innovation-driven companies value independence and critical thinking, so obedience tests are less common. In summary, obedience tests aren't just simple assessments of loyalty. They reveal deeper layers of ethics, logic, and corporate culture. True professionalism lies in finding ways to fulfill company directives while retaining personal ethical judgment and independent thinking. Companies that aim to fully realize their employees' potential should cultivate a culture that encourages both loyalty and constructive critique. This balance is essential for long-term growth.